Shalom. This is a new Ben Israel at Hebrew on the Island 2. Today's video is going to be my transformation from a Messianic Hebrew to a Torah-based, Tanakh-based Hebrew Israelite only. It's going to be part one. For some of you of my subscribers on this new channel that know in the past I was a Messianic Hebrew, and you wonder why. Well, I'm going to explain to you. It's going to be a series because I'm going to do little short segments on my journey to where I have arrived to today. And it's just not a short period of time. It's been over a long period of time. Things, I questioned things a long time ago with certain things, and I just put them in the closet, put them on a shelf. But then, just recently, I felt a need to address these topics and my thoughts in reference to the scriptures again. So that's what I did. And I'm sharing it with you. My transformation from being a Messianic Hebrew to being a Torah-based, a Tanakh-based Hebrew only. And what I mean is, for some people that don't understand, I'm just dealing with the Old Testament, the law, and the prophets. And I'm going to tell you this right now. And I said this on my just recent video I did on the Kerner Commission report, is that if somebody comes to me, well, I just read the first 5 books. I agree. Because the first 5 books is the Torah, and it tells us exactly what the Most High wants from us and how to live. And I'll be honest with you, that's all you need. The prophets in the prophets in the Haftorah, they weren't in the Torah, and definitely the apostles and the disciples in that New Testament wasn't during Torah time. Most High equipped us to know what He wants and how we're supposed to live right in the first 5 books. I'm choosing to also do the Haftorah, which is the Tanakh, which is the law and the prophets. Now see, when you read Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 2, this is what it says. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Most High your Elohim, which I command you. So when, I was reading the New Testament, even the Apocrypha, I got rid of that book of Enoch, and, they got a whole bunch of other books too. I saw some errors. I saw some things. And some people even will tell you there's errors in the Torah too. For people that really know the Torah, they'll say, oh, it is. Well, you know what? You have to decide for yourself what is best for you, because you're going to have to be judged by the Most High, not for anybody else's decisions and sins, but your own. This is what I'm choosing in my life. I'm going with what I have, to know how to live and how to be acceptable to the Most High is that Torah. And then I'm including the Haftorah with the prophets. So you can't add. In those other books, they're adding things, and I'll get to that in later videos, because this is part 1. Also, when you read Isaiah 8:20, it says, to the law and the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. Well, when I read the New Testament, I see blatant things that are in contradiction or have been added or subtracted. And in the major prophet Isaiah, he says, if they don't speak according to these words, there's no light in them. So guess what? If you got truth and lies, I'm not going with it. You you make that decision. But me personally, I'm not. And remember, if you only did study the first 5 books of Torah, the law, you are good. because it's telling you how to live and how to be acceptable in the Most High's eyes. So those things were some of the catalysts that made me want to reevaluate a long time ago and even now. See, one verse that bothered me about the New Testament years ago was, in Paul's writing in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, he says, well, is any man called being circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Is any called in uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing but keeping of the law of the commandments of Elohim. Well, that's troubling. If some people try to, well, he meant that, he meant this, he meant that. Listen, to me, there's no gray area in the law. It's this or that, and that's it. So, that just bothered me, because we know in the law, a male child is supposed to be circumcised on the 8th day. And, in general, the males must be circumcised. So, that bothered me, and this not there. There's tons of other things. We're not going to get to that on this video. But those are the things back then that made me wonder. So now, let me get into it just a little bit more. I want to give you a secular example of things that made me wonder and have suspicion in the New Testament. And I'm specifically speaking about the New Testament. Okay, of course the Apocrypha as well, because it's connected to it. I'm not saying you don't have great writings, poetry in that Apocrypha. I may still read some of Ecclesiasticus because I like it and stuff like that, but I'm going to be based in Torah and Torah. Now, think about this. The fake Jewish people, they stole our heritage. All the Hebrew Israelites know that. They are identity bandits. They're imposters. They're thieves in a whole bunch of type of errors. But I'm just dealing with stealing our biblical culture and our identity. Now, I'm going to give you an example. Now, I know if I give this example to some, they like to play semantics. But I know you're going to know, my subscribers, what I exactly mean. If a bank robber, he goes into a bank. Remember, bank robber's a thief. If he goes into a bank, is he going to go into the bank to rob? Is he going to go into the bank and go into the bathroom of the bank and steal toilet paper, the soap? Is he going to go into their little kitchen lunchroom area and steal the brown paper bags out of the refrigerator of the employees and steal their lunch? Is he going to do that? And I know you know the answer to that. He's going into the bank to steal the valuables. Just like a person, which is the money, the safe deposit boxes, etc. The people's watches on their hands, their cell phones, stuff like that. If a robber breaks into your house, he's not going into your bathroom stealing your toilet paper, your soap, your shampoo. He's not going into your refrigerator going to steal radishes and a couple slices of bread. He's not. He's going into your house to steal valuables, whatever valuables to him, but he's not going into that. He's not going in your house primarily for that stuff. He's going in for the valuables. So take that analogy that I just gave you and put it towards this. The fake Jewish people, they stole the Negro, because the only Hebrew Israelites are the Negroes that have been scattered to the four corners of this flat earth. He stole our culture. In 70 AD, when they sacked Jerusalem, they got a hold of our records. Do you think they got just stupid people in the Romans, which are, Caucasians, and the fake Jews? You think they have just everybody stupid? No, they're very intelligent. So they got a hold of our records. They read the records. They analyzed the records. They investigated the records. And you know what they came down to? Is this. They just do the Torah, the half Torah. That's all they're involved with. from time past till right now. Why did they leave Christianity and Messianic Hebrews, the Messiah, the New Testament? You want to know why? I'm answering it for you in my example that I present to you. It's because it was not valued. It was not there. That's why it's not there. Did you ever wonder? See, a lot of our people, we think one-dimensional. We think with a herd mentality. Well, everybody's believing this, I'm going this way. We don't have critical thinking skills. We don't have investigative thinking skills to ever think of an example like that. These people are smart. They stole everything from us, but they left us the Mashiach, JC, Jesus Christ, or Yahweh-Shai, Yehoshua. They left that for us, though. Did you ever wonder, scratch your head and go, no, you never even thought about that. But here at Hebrew on Island 2, the island, Anu Ben Israel, Anu Yashar Israel, I have thought about that. That's my example. For those that try to play with semantics, well, a robber goes in and steals the thing that he wants and whatever. Well, guess what? Out of the scriptures or the Holy Bible that Christians and Messianic Hebrews use, the three most important things in that Holy Bible is the Most High, His laws, statutes, and commandments and judgments, and His Son. But they left that. And I gave you the example, the fake Jewish people, they left that. They didn't infuse the Messiah, the New Testament, in their faith practice from time past to right now. So you should scratch your head. Now, I'm going to get into why they did that, because they know a lot more than you know, and I know. So that's why it's not included in their faith. I know a lot of you guys out there that are watching this video, you didn't think about that as well. Now, everybody knows about the piece. Everybody knows about Caesar Borgia, and they did this, the Borgia family and whatever. But guess what? There's another family, and since I'm outside, we don't have the computer, I wrote it for you. Another family is called the P.I.S.U. family. P-I-S-O family. You do the research. You do your own research, because that's what you're supposed to do. In the prophets, in the Haftorah, in Isaiah 34, it says, seek ye out of the book of the Most High and read, and none of these things shall fail. Well, research the P.I.S.U. family, P-I-S-O. They are the ones that have been recorded to have wrote the New Testament and the Apocrypha. You never heard about that? Research it. Research it for yourself. The P.I.S.U. family. Research it for yourself. Now I'm going to give you a little backdrop on it, and then I'm going to call it quits, and then we're going to make a part 2, and I'm going to go deeper and deeper, a little deeper into it, and that's going to be the series. The P.I.S.U. family and the story of the Bible, the New Testament, the church, and Christianity were all the creation of the Calpurnius P.I.S.U. family. Look it up for yourself. I gave it to you already. The New Testament synthesized by the Roman P.I.S.U. family. Remember, Rome sacked Jerusalem in 70 AD and destroyed the temple, took all the stuff out of the temples, including the writings. The New Testament synthesized by the Roman P.I.S.U. family to maintain control of the masses and the slaves. The New Testament, Christianity, and the church were all a creation of the Calpurnius P.I.S.U. Those were Roman aristocrats. Jesus, all the Josephs in the Bible, the Mary's disciples, Apostle Paul, John the Baptist, are all fictional, as per the information when you find out about the P.I.S.U. family. The P.I.S.Us created the story, and the creators, they tied the story into a specific time frame and place in history, and they connected it with some peripheral actual people such as Herod, Gamaliel, Roman patriarchs and stuff like that. In the middle of the 1st century, Rome aristocracy felt itself confronted with a growing problem. The Jewish religion was growing in number. They feared that Judaism would become the chief religion of the empire. This is why they made the New Testament. The Roman author Seneca, and Emperor Nero suggested in a letter to Lucius Piso that lighting candles on the Sabbath be prohibited. Seneca is later quoted by St. Augustine in his City of God as charging that the Sabbath custom of the most accursed nation have gained such strength that they have been now received in all lands. The conquered have given laws to the conqueror. And that's what they did not want, Hebrew. Let me read that again. The conquered have given laws to the conqueror. The Romans conquered the Judeans. They conquered them. So they said the conquerors are giving laws to the conquerors. Their faith, their okay, a lot of people call it their religion, but it's not. It's our culture. It's becoming the most popular thing in their empire. They can't have that. They have to, the conquered can't conquer their conquerors in any area, in war, in economics, and in faith. And that's what was going on. So they devised a plan which was to subvert what was going on, which was the Judaism practices were rising in the Roman Empire. So they said, we're going to make ours. And we have slaves, Judean slaves, and we have some Judean free people living amongst us. We got to make something that's palatable to them, something that they will accept to a degree, so that our faith is on the top, not theirs. And that is how the creation of the New Testament and the Apocrypha came to be. So that's how it came to be. So, and when I'm looking down, it's because I got little mosquitoes trying to bite me. Hold on. So that's how it came to be. The New Testament. So I'm going to give you a little examples of what they did. They remember, they had to make it palatable for the majority of the Judeans to accept it. A lot of them still didn't accept it, but some of them did. And what they did was they said that what we're going to do is we're going to make this New Testament be a book that they can actually look up to, like their Torah, and have Torah. And, we're going to make the New Testament with similar themes in it. So it will be palatable to them. And I'm going to show you some right now, and we're going to call this part 1. We're going to close out this part 1 after that. And then you look forward to my part 2. So this Piso family, what they did was they took the Jewish Joseph of Genesis story, and they're gonna make it around the Mashiach. Because remember, Joseph was like the savior. He saved his people when they were going to starve. Right? So check it out. In the Tanakh, which is the first 5 books, the law and the prophets, but in the first 5 books, you got the 12 brothers, the 12 tribes. Guess what you have in the New Testament? 12 disciples. You see what they're doing? See the similarity. You got in the Torah them bringing spices on camels. Well, in the New Testament, you got them bringing spices with the Magi to the Messiah. You have Joseph was sold for 20 pieces of silver. In the New Testament, you got Jesus being sold for 30 pieces of silver. Are you seeing what they're doing? It's plagiarism. But they're doing it so that, they know that like subconsciously, those stories, those events, not stories, are in the Judeans, the Hebrews' minds. So they're making the New Testament with a similar theme. Joseph is sold for 20 pieces of silver by his brothers to the Egyptians, and or to the traders who then sell him to the Egyptians. Then you have Jesus being sold for 30 pieces of silver in the New Testament. Now listen, the brother Judah, he's one of the tribes, the tribe of Judah, the brother Judah back in the Torah suggested to sell Joseph as the plan, because remember, Joseph was the favored son. Guess what? In the New Testament, you have Judas selling Jesus. So in the Old Testament, you have brother Judah. He made the first suggestion to sell his brother Joseph. In the New Testament, you got Judas Iscariot selling Jesus. You see the similarity? You see the plagiarism? You have the background was Egypt and bondage and slaying the firstborn in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, the background was flight to Egypt to avoid Herod's slaying of the male children in Matthew chapter 2. You see the similarity? And the P.S.U.K family did this purposely. So subconsciously, the story would be palatable. They wouldn't reject it that quick. That even in a subconscious level, they're associating those similarities. You have Miriam is Moses' sister, whose story is a sequel to that of Joseph. Well, in the New Testament, who's Jesus' mother? Yahushai's mother, Miriam. Same. Miriam and Miriam is like the same. And listen, there's a lot more, but I'm going to skip over some things. I want to try to call it quits. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. And listen, they did the same thing with the Apocrypha. P.S.U.K wished to create a strong foundation on which, this is about the Apocrypha. The P.S.U.K family, they wished to create a strong foundation on which to place the new faith. So between 100 and 115, he recreated the story of the 400 lost years of the Jewish history. He did this by also writing the 14 books of the Apocrypha, including Ezra's, 1st Maccabees, Judith, Tobit, Bells and Dragons, by making Jewish history brave and glorious. The empire's people would more readily accept it as their own history and become the new Israel. So listen, I'm going to leave it there with you. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. There's a lot more. I'm skipping over a lot. So this is part 1 of my transformation from being a Messianic Hebrew to a Torah Tanakh based Hebrew Israelite only. Hopefully you enjoy this. Hopefully you research and look it up for yourself. The P.S.U.K family. And hopefully you come to your decision. And listen, let me tell you right now, this video is not made to make anybody change. Not at all. Everybody relationship with the Most High, how they live on earth is between them and the Most High. Everybody has to choose their own path. This is the path that a new Ben Israel, a new Yashar Israel from Hebrew on the Island 2 is doing. So don't think he's making these videos to try to, no. I'm making the videos because it's my channel. I'm being open with you. I'm explaining why I'm doing what I'm doing, because the new videos that I make from now on in my channel are going to be Tanakh based. They're not going to be Apocrypha based and New Testament based. That's the reason why I'm explaining that to you. Not to convince you. And for those that say, oh, this guy doesn't believe in the New Testament no more, or Apocrypha, I'm going to leave. You know, there's some books, you know, that, you know, because you could read whatever books you want. I may read still some Ecclesiasticus. I like that book. Wisdom of Solomon and stuff. I like that book. But that doesn't mean that I'm taking that as my faith. I base things on. I'm only basing things on, you know, if you want to read a novel book or secular, you could read it. But my faith is based in Torah and Tanakh. This is a new Ben Israel at Hebrew on the Island 2. Until next time, Shalom.